My name is Rob Pipal. I'm the men's soccer coach at Bethany Lutheran College and professor in health and human performance. Well, I think that you should be, if you really want to get recruited, I think you need to be contacting college coaches when you're at the end of your sophomore year, beginning of your junior year. You got to do it early. You can't wait.
Okay.
I think so many times is that some kids get into promotions, big promotion of themselves. You know, just stick to the facts. If you're a good player, you're going to be found. Well, all coaches, all of us like to talk to kids that answer emails. Be very respectful of that. You're going to get a lot more stuff happening for you if you do that.
Okay.
We do a lot of, obviously we go through a lot of the websites, a lot of the stuff like that. We go to games, we go to tournaments, things like that. Once we do that, we try to contact kids. We try to meet face-to-face once we're allowed to do that. In Division III, we can't do anything until after their senior year as far as and into their senior year, after their junior year, starting their senior year. So we do a lot of texting, emailing, calling, and try to keep the communication open. I think it's important that when coaches we talk about it, that we try to be it's a personal conversation, not just a generic thing. Then you know the coach has watched you, what coach has seen you, the coach is interested in you, you know. And then for you, you just follow it up, and if it makes sense for you, that's great.
Okay.
What I expect out of when I'm recruiting is that when I call them, if they're interested at all, it'd be nice if they email back, if there was a communication thing. So many times kids, they don't email back or they don't respond and this and that. And it's really hard for us that are doing. And if you're not interested, that's okay. You can work with somebody else. But I think it's important to really be a good communicator. If you really want to do well, coaches really value communication. Sometimes when kids get so focused on, I want to play for this team and this, and that, you got to make sure that the college is where you want to be, because I've had this happen to many kids, is that tear their ACL or have a major injury. Now you're at that school, so you got to love the school first. You got to believe in the school. You know, athletics is critical, but your grades are number one. So you got to look at the whole picture. It isn't just about the athletics. Boy, that's a good question. I think once we start talking to somebody and we start talking to the kids and stuff like that, I think it ends up being 6 to 8 months. You know, if we talk, I've had kids that's taken 3 years. They've talked to me since they're a sophomore. So it's all dependent on the kid and what they want to do, if they like the school. And again, it always goes back to the same thing, communication.
Okay.
They can help. But in the end of it, it's really about you, the athlete. You have to make the contact. If you're good, they'll see you play. You know. Well, that's nice is the coach can again communicate. Like I'll call coaches and I'll say, I say, would you please call me back and tell me about your player? And he's interested in my school. I'd love to talk to him. I have some coaches that never respond. You know, and it's really nice if they would respond. Tell me their tendencies. We're looking for kids that work hard. Is he on time? I mean, the coach can really help sell this person.
Okay.
I don't think that matters. If you're a good player, if you play well, and I said if you contact people and you do the process, I said they'll find you. They'll come watch you.
Okay.
You got to contact me.
Okay.
Okay. If I see you in a tournament, we'll try to do it that way too. But I mean, sometimes when small schools, you're not on the radar. We don't see you very often. I've had kids we've gotten that I didn't know anything about them, but somebody told me about them or they contacted me, and then we get in the communication, and also, wow, you're an awesome player. You do great, and then so a lot of it has to do with you, the athlete. You got to be proactive. I think it's helpful, yes, and then not just that you can, the little things. They want to see you in the flow of the game. Coaches want to see what do you do when you lose the ball, what do you do when this happens, and so it has to be kind of a, you know, it doesn't have to be super long, but it has to give us kind of what it looks like in the whole game. Well, I think the first thing we look at is grades. Okay. Second thing, I look at communication. I look at how well they get back to me. Are they just showing? I have kids that are just talking to me now. You're starting awfully late. It tells me an awful lot about you. If you're just starting now, that tells me a little bit about how you are as a person. So a lot of this stuff has to be that kind of stuff, the basic stuff.
Okay.
I think that what we do is we talk to you. You get a feel for who I am. I get a feel for who you are. We want you to visit. Make sure you visit schools, because maybe it looks okay, but until you go there, you got to look at it. And I think you need to always look at a number of schools, because what you want to do, in the end of the day, you want to go to the one that you feel most comfortable. It has to be comfort level with the coach and the school. No. Like, obviously Division I, Division II, but you have to always understand Division I and II, they're not going to take risk on kids that don't have good grades. Got to have grades. Division III, of course, we don't have scholarship, so we value academics, because that's important. We can get you academic scholarships. So I think that's the number one thing you got to do. And you got to make sure, if you haven't been contacted by the time you're a junior, the cards aren't there for Division I, Division II. Most Division I, Division II are already recruiting the sophomores by now. I think what makes Division III so cool is that it's not just about the athletics; it's about you, the person. I don't own you, and I don't need to have you work 8 hours a day in the sport. I want you to be a complete person. I want you to love your sport, love your school, get great grades, and be something amazing when you leave.